The St. Louis Cardinals came hard out of the gate in preseason, but after losing their season opener on the 2-yard line, their season has been one frustration after another. And the Cardinals need a strong finish to erase the memories of a season where the roof caved. Washington Redskins visiting here in St. Louis. And I suppose most people thought that at this stage of the season, the standings would look like this, with the Giants and the Redskins tied 10-2. The Giants don't play until tomorrow night, and the Dallas Cowboys are still somewhat in the picture in the Eastern Division of the NFC. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jack Buck, and with me is, well, you know, Joe Theismann. Joe, everybody agrees that Washington should win this football game, but that's what Kansas City thought when they came here a week ago, and they got knocked off.
They really did. You know, you come in here to St. Louis, and you think it's a football team you should be able to handle. You look at the records, you look at the standings, and you feel confident about it. But this is the kind of game that concerns Joe Gibbs more than anything, a game that they should win before a very big football game.
Right, he's a little paranoid about it, Joe. You're talking to a lot of old friends in our audience today, and I bet you wish you could be out there.
I wish I could be out there, you know, and I really would like to be down on the field. And, you know, they really miss me, Jack.
They really miss you.
Yeah, they're only 10-2. A 10-2 football team. The Washington Redskins are playing as good a football right now as they've played in the entire years that Joe Gibbs has been there. More talent than they've had. Have they come together as a ball club yet? Today is another step to find out. Now, this football team is going to have to get ready for the St. Louis Cardinals, and the key in this game is how much pressure the front four is going to be able to put on Neil Lomax early.
We shall learn early, because the Cardinals will receive. The temperature is a damp 38 degrees. It's rather windy, and it may hurt some of the receivers on punts, and it's not going to get much better this afternoon. Steve Cox will kick it off, and the Cardinals special teams have been quite good. Vi Sikahema is deep along with Eric Swanson, and these two have been able to make things happen at the start of the game. Let's see if Cox puts it into the end zone. No, it's going to be Sikahema from the 9. 20. 30. Good start for the Cardinals, and the tackle by Todd Bowles of the Redskins. Lomax goes in to lead his troops. There you see his figures, about 54% completion. Doesn't throw many interceptions. Lost his job for a while. Here's the defense. A 4-man front. Charles Mann, Dave Butts, Darrell Grant, Dexter Manley, and they are hot. The linebackers are Daniels, Olkowitz, and Malott. And the deep men, the rookie Tim Morrison on the left corner. Darrell Green not starting. Wilburn, Walton, another rookie at the safety spot, along with Curtis Jordan from the 30-yard line. Stump Mitchell was a doubtful starter, but he is in there with Earl Farrell. Green in motion. A run and a stop. Oh, Mitchell was really stuffed. And it looked like Darrell Grant was the first one in there, along with Dexter Manley cracking down, and a loss of 2. Here's the remainder of the Cardinal offense. Lomax with Mitchell and Farrell. Wide receivers are Roy Green and J.T. Smith. And up front, a couple of rookies. Louis Sharp against Dexter Manley. The rookies, Ray Brown and Gene Chilton. Then Joe Bostic, brother of Jeff. Tootie Robbins at the right tackle, and Doug Marsh, the tight end, 2nd and 12.
And on that last play, Darrell Grant was lined up over Ray Brown.
Ball bounced, and it's incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and 12 as they try to get it out to J.T. Smith. Lomax was benched for 2.5 games. He was benched at halftime of a game, then didn't start for 2 weeks. Came on last week, helped defeat Kansas City. There's Gene Stallings, the head coach, and the offensive coordinator Jim Schaffner alongside with a headset.
St. Louis's offense is predicated around getting rid of the ball quick. They have a lot of respect for the front four of the Redskins. They feel like if they can protect Lomax and get him in a groove early, it'll help the ball club out a lot.
Todd Bowles is into the lineup, along with Darrell Green. Troy Johnson, the 3rd wide receiver for St. Louis. Look out. Linebacker came blasting through, and that was Monty Coleman, who's back to work, and it's 4th and long and time to kick.
Monty takes about 4 weeks off during a season because of a shoulder injury that's been nagging him year after year, and as soon as he comes back, the team doesn't play well. Monty comes back, and he's Mr. Big Play. play after play, week after week. He's in there now playing full-time and getting a real feel for what's going on. They're probably one of the fastest guys on the football team besides Darrell Green.
Greg Cater is the punter. Rick DiBernardo will snap the ball. Ken Jenkins is inside his 45, and Washington should be in good shape. I imagine they'll stay away from the kicker. Just let him thump it out of there. That's true. Concentrate on the return. Very fine kick. Coverage not so hot from the 35, and Jenkins was lucky with the bounce. But the Redskins go from their 36-yard line, and a 46-yard punt put them there. A 2-yard return. Jay Schroeder is the quarterback for Washington.
Washington 1st and 10.
Here's the defense of the Cardinals. They play a 3-man front with Bob Clasby, David Galloway, who's their best, and Al Baker at the right end. Freddie Joe Nunn, E.J. Jr., Nico Noga, and Charlie Baker, the linebackers. And Carl Carter, the rookie, on the left corner with Cedric Mack, Leonard Smith, and Lonnie Young. We have an injured player that they're dealing with at the moment, and that's Ken Jenkins, who caught the punt, dropped it, and got it up to the 37.
Got nailed.
13-19 left in the first quarter, and plenty of time for Schroeder to think it over.
A century ago, the founders of Mercedes-Benz created the world's first automobiles. Over the years, their mastery of technology and intolerance for mediocrity inspired countless automotive legends. Now, as Mercedes-Benz enters its second century, the technology has changed, yet the passion for perfection remains, creating Mercedes-Benz for 1987, legends for the second century.
Watch closely. You're looking at America's 2 leading premium beers. Because Miller High Life comes in a clear bottle, you probably think it's the lighter of the 2. But life is full of surprises. You see, Miller High Life is brewed darker from this special and expensive roasted malt. Pour them for yourself. See the difference roasted malt can make. Then compare the taste, and you just might find out what a beer made the American way is all about. Miller High Life.
So the issue is clear. Sony Video 8, the system of the future, or VHS-C, the compromise of the past. Now, as we've seen, the new Sony Handycam with autofocus and zoom gives you a measurably better picture, far superior sound, twice the recording time, and on Sony video cassettes, your memories are safe. While on VHS-C, they could be fleeting. I rest my case.
The Sony Video 8 system. Judge for yourself.
With Clint Didier out is Jay Schroeder, Keith Griffin, Gary Clark, Art Monk, Don Warren, Anthony Jones. The third wide receiver will be Ricky Sanders. The offensive line is Jacoby, Raleigh McKenzie in place of Russ Grimm, Jeff Bostic, R.C. Thielman, and Mark May, who says that Joe Theismann owes him some money.
Well, yeah, Mark was my partner when we used to travel for 6 years, and yeah, I still do, as a matter of fact.
Well, I'll pay you up.
I will.
From the 37, first down Washington. Monk to the left, Clark to the right, Sanders to the left. Warren is the up back, the fullback. And a pass on first down. Whoa, well thrown at midfield. And Gary Clark coughed it up at the end, and it's incomplete. A little bit high, and it strung him out.
Well, you know, the Redskins used to be a pound 'em type of offense. You'd like to see what they used to do is, when I was there, they used to come out and throw 5-6 yard passes just to act like a small running play. Now they come out, they use the I formation, which has really helped them disguise their offense more, run a little play action and get the ball deeper down the field. Jay likes to put it down the field, so Joe's accommodating.
Second down and 10, and now Clark is to the left. Nico Noga made that last hit. Doing on that one on the run by Kelvin Bryant, who's in there. No gain. It'll be 3rd and 10.
This is the thing you get. You've got George Rogers, who's really a power pound-em type of a back. With Kelvin Bryant and with Keith Griffin, you've got 2 smaller backs who Joe Gibbs will alternate. So because he feels like neither one of them can take the pounding that George can. Kelvin Bryant is probably the best multiple back, I think, in the National Football League today. He catches exceptionally well, and he runs extremely well. He's one of their big play men.
One of the best is right, along with fellows like Roger Craig and some of the others. Third down. Schroeder with good movement. Has it batted down. Now the Redskins will have to punt. Looked like David Galloway, number 65, got his hands up and batted it down, and the pressure was put on by Bob Pasby, number 79.
David Galloway recovered 2 fumbles last week. One that was ruled not a touchdown because you cannot advance a lateral. Has come on and played very, very well. The Cardinals are starting to get a lot of people back healthy on defense, and they feel like that part of their football team is starting to come along, as well as having Roy Green back on offense.
Steve Cox, with his 43-yard average, will kick it to Vi Sikahema. And Sikahema has returned for more than 10 yards per kick. 12.5 left in the first quarter. No score. No pressure. Pretty good kick. Will be returned by Sikahema from the 12 to the 20. Made his move. You don't usually get that many yards against the Redskins. A tackle by Monty Coleman at the 31.
Well, you know, Vi Sikahema has done an excellent job for the Cardinals, but the one thing that Joe Gibbs was talking about is historically the St. Louis Cardinals, of which Wayne Sevier, who coaches the Redskins now, was a Cardinal coach, have played very, very well, and they've always played them well here. Back a long time ago, I can recall a punt going back for a touchdown by the Cardinals.
Sikahema, by the way, is from Tonga. So he feels the cold here today. And there's Lomax. He felt the pressure on the first series of downs. Now the Cardinals start from their 31. Mitchell can do little, and the Cardinals appear to be determined to start a running game. They gained only a yard, and the Redskins on the other side of the line are very difficult to run against.
They are very difficult to run against, but the Cardinals want to come out and keep the pressure off of Neil Lomax. Now, Lomax didn't play for a couple of weeks. Really, more than psychologically helping him, it helped him physically get his toe and his ankle, which are 2 of the ugliest things you've ever seen in your life, get healed and have him come back and play a little bit better football, just from a physical standpoint. By running the ball, they're going to keep the pressure off him a little bit.
2nd and 9. Smith to the right, Green to the left. Marsh is to the left side. Pass caught by J.T. Smith. First down. With Barry Wilburn on top of him, getting the help that he needed from Curtis Jordan. That's the first down of the day. He's having a great year. People overlook the fact that, you know, he's been around for a while. He played with Kansas City for a long time, but look where he ranks, Joe.
He was a Redskin for 8 games as well. Now he ranks 3rd in receiving. You see behind Clark and Rice. Of course, Art Monk is 4th. Washington having 2 great receivers, but J.T. Smith has been the man that makes it happen and has been there week in and week out for the Cardinals.
We've played 4 minutes. Ball at the St. Louis 45. And he threw it away. There was coverage on the tight end by Calvin Daniels, the linebacker, and that's where Lomax wanted to go.
That's right, and there was pressure from Dave Butts, who's having what he considers, as well as a lot of the coaches, his finest year in the 14 years he's played.
You know, he's never been hurt, and the only things I can think of that would bother him would be an erupting volcano from within.
Possibly that, or earthquake.
Or erosion.
Right, something that he has been a stalwart in that Redskin defense year in and year out. They've moved a lot of people around him, but he anchors the middle for him.
Troy Johnson, the extra wide receiver. Todd Bowles in defensively, and a poor pass and a flag. Covering on the play was Barry Wilburn on Troy Johnson. And a flag came down for some reason, and it's against the defense for illegal use of the hands after the 5-yard area.
Well, you know what's going to happen today, too, is the weather.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 45, 5 yards, first down.
It's an automatic first down.
Right coming at you, you're going to see right down the lower left of your screen the hand contact. Now, you're only allowed to make contact with the receiver 5 yards downfield, and you see Wilburn had his right arm on it. Now, you see him slipping a little bit. This carpet gets real slick. When it rains, it's fine. When it's dry, it's fine. But when it's misty like this, it gets a film on it. It makes it hard to keep your footing.
First at midfield. Pretty good protection. And a gain of about 5 yards on that quick toss. A 5-yard pickup to the fullback, Earl Farrell. How was that pass protection? As good as I thought it was, Joe?
It was. There you see in your screen, there's Dave Butts, Charles Mann outside, Dexter Manley at the top of the screen. You see Sharp, Brown, Chilton, Bostic, and Tootie Robbins keeping that Redskin front four off. That's going to be a key this afternoon, to give Lomax a time to sit in that pocket. And if he can't go deep, to come off to the underneath people. You know, Farrell's caught 44 passes so far this year, so he's a big part of their passing game.
Minnesota jumps ahead of Tampa Bay. Minnesota's still in the picture. We played 4 minutes. Now we played 5 minutes. Here comes Mitchell. Another flag is down, and so is the ball carrier. 2 different flags came down. Curtis Jordan came up and made the tackle and knocked the helmet right off of Stump Mitchell. Mitchell's playing with a bad toe. There's Dick Hantak. I hate to tell you people in Washington this, but the referee lives in St. Louis. Mitchell, by the way, has some bad ribs along with a bad toe. And a holding call against St. Louis.
Holding. Offense, number 80. Repeat the down. Second down.
That was a call against Doug Marsh, the tight end.
Besides the great individual effort and talent that the Redskins have on their defense, what they've caused offenses to do is to create penalties against them and come up with 2nd down and 15, 1st down and 20 situation, which plays right into the Redskins' defensive hands.
The Cardinals 45.
It is 2nd down and 16 now. The Cardinals are back where they started at their own 45. Troy Johnson, the 3rd wide receiver. Todd Bowles is in there for Washington. Another 1st down. I'll tell you this about Lomax. You can't take anything away from him on that throw to J.T. Smith. Wilburn covering along with Monty Coleman.
The Redskins went to a 3-man defensive line with 4 linebackers. Now they bring the linebackers to put pressure on Lomax, and it singles everybody up one-on-one. J.T. Smith on Barry Wilburn just runs a simple crossing pattern and runs away from him. The key to that route was not the pattern itself or the throw, but the time that Lomax had to throw the football.
21 yards to the Redskin 34. No score, 1st quarter. Fumble, and Lomax got it. He and the rookie center, Gene Chilton, a rookie out of Texas, the number 3 draft pick of the Cardinals, number 58, missed connections and a loss of a couple of yards.
As a quarterback, that's the one thing that you don't want to do. You have to get the snap to start the play. You've given away a yard, and you've lost a very critical down in what we consider scoring territory, getting towards the red area, which coaches refer to from the 20-yard line in.
Ken Coffey joins Todd Bowles as the extra back, and it's 2nd and 12.
399! 399!
Well, that one didn't look right. I don't know who did what. The pass is incomplete. Looked like the Cardinal line moved.
That's Louis Sharp trying to get set on a pass block for Dexter Manley, and Dexter is so quick out of the blocks that he causes those left tackles to just jump too quick. There's the illegal movement.
Against St. Louis. Now that was 2nd down. The clock is stopped with precisely 8 minutes left in the 1st quarter. It may have been Louis Sharp who moved too quickly. Everybody seemed out of kilter. The snap count was kind of irregular by Lomax.
I think they're trying to do that to draw Manley off sides.
We had a false start on the offense. Number 67. Still 2nd down, 5-yard penalty.
Left of your screen, you'll see Dexter Manley start to hitch a little, and then Louis Sharp. See, Dexter starts to go. Now the offense comes back. He's trying to get himself around so that he can handle Manley. Interesting decision by Joe Gibbs. They're willing to give St. Louis an additional down and take the penalty, possibly taking him out of field goal range. I don't know if I'd have done it. I think I'd have left it 3rd and 11 and try and get the ball back.
Ron Wolfley is in at the fullback spot as they have the extra wide receivers in for St. Louis, and J.T. Smith lines up in the backfield. 2nd and 17. Down he went. That's the 2nd time he's been sacked here in the early going, and boy, it crumbled in a hurry. Butts was in there along with Manley and Darrell Grant.
Dexter Manley's going to get credit. From the upper part of your screen, you're going to see coming into the picture is Dexter Manley. He just pushes Louis Sharp back And then as Lomax steps up, he just collapses him.
We're talking about strength. He mentioned the fact that he didn't think the Sharp was that strong up on top.
That's right. He thinks he has good feet, and he can position block him when it comes to pure, they call it bull rushing, just trying to run over the guy. Dexter feels he has an advantage.
He just broke his own record. He has 15.5 sacks, and it's 3rd and 23. Short of a first down, as it is caught by Troy Johnson, but it does put St. Louis in long field goal range after a 19-yard pass.
When you talk to the St. Louis coaches, they feel that Troy Johnson is the true fast wide receiver that they feel every team needs. He's a legitimate 4-3. Now, for anybody who doesn't understand the terminology, that means he's really fast. It's plain and simple. And he's a guy that Gene Stallings feels like this football team needs to try and get the football to make big plays.
There's Gene Stallings, who has his field goal unit out there with Kent Austin holding at the 36. It's a 46-yard try by Eric Schubert. You remember him from the Giants. Bernardo held it. Pretty good thump. St. Louis jumps out in front. With 6:28 left in the first quarter, some pretty good passing on critical downs by Lomax and the field goal by Schubert.
The Mercedes-Benz Driving Simulator, a laboratory that moves. Computerized hydraulics producing realistic driving forces. Computerized projectors creating a lifelike driving world. Allowing engineers to analyze the responses of ordinary drivers in extraordinary moments. Duplicating any driving situation in total safety. Mercedes-Benz continues to learn the secrets of automotive science. And the automotive world continues to learn from Mercedes-Benz.
You stepped up to a 35mm camera because you wanted to get serious about your photography. There, the image is on the film, but will it be on the print? It will if it's Eckerd's UltraLab 35 processing. UltraLab 35 examines each negative for color and contrast. Prints on high-gloss Kodak paper for incredible reproduction, and UltraLab prints are 30% larger. Be sure that the image you shoot is the image you get. UltraLab 35 from Eckerd, when you're serious about 35mm.
Watch this. I talk, and my words appear on the screen. This is an experimental IBM computer system. It recognizes thousands of words, even words that sound the same. Please write to Mrs. Wright right now. Another innovation from IBM and the most advanced voice recognition system of its kind, period.
Buddy Ryan said, we'll find out who's tough. It's the Eagles at the Raiders. Philadelphia's been out there all week long after playing Seattle. You'll see that game next on CBS. Schubert, who kicked the 46-yard field goal, will kick it off. The deep men are Ken Jenkins, closest to you, and Clarence Verdun, number 89 at the top.
Number 31, Ken Jenkins.
This is the 5th kicker in 2 years for St. Louis. He's hot today. It's into the end zone, and Verdun runs it back out. And a flag goes down, and another flag. It's shy of the 20. And the Cardinal fans are turned on a bit. Rick DiBernardo was downfield to make the tackle. You remember Schubert? He had some glory days with the Giants, and then he lost his job, and Haji Sheik came back, and then he left. The penalties against the Redskins.
You know, I think on kickoffs, what they should do is just let the team run it out as far as they can, and then just penalize them 10 yards and save the laundry bill. Because I can think of very few kickoffs where a flag does not go up in the air. I mean, now with the rule, you can't block below the waist, you can't push him in the back, you can't touch the guy running down the field. You may as well just penalize him.
Put it at the 13 of Washington. They could put a flag on the ball.
Illegal block in the back on the return by number 87. We have a face mask on St. Louis, number 54. Finley's offset.
They say offsetting penalties, but they brought the ball back to the 13-yard line.
What you heard was E.J. Jr. yelling, how can you say 54? I'm not even on the kickoff team.
So E.J. Jr. is pleading his case to the appellate court up back upfield.
Now they're going to look at the Cardinals and find a 4. And try and figure. I mean, that's exactly. Sometimes the officials, things move so fast they can't quite tell. And E.J.'s out there to play defense. He's not on the kickoff team. He's just back off of being injured. Look at the smile. He knows too.
Meanwhile, up front, it's going to be Jacoby, McKenzie, Bostic, Thielman, and May.
We have offsetting penalties. We have a face mask on the kicking team, illegal block on the receiving team. Penalties offset. First down.
Okay, from the 13th.
That might stop them from calling people out, just their names.
Somebody.
Now you'll just identify the receiving team, the kicking team, and now, you know, they won't isolate it on the victim anymore.
Bears are out in front. San Diego's out in front. And the Cardinals are out in front. 3-0 here. Griffin. Talk about gang tackling, a gain of about 2. Griffin just isn't a Rodgers or a Bryant. He's a different sort of back. He's like Little Joe that you used to have.
He's like Little Joe Washington. He's the kind of guy who does a great job of coming in. He's only averaged 2.9 yards. And the reason why he's only carried the ball 17 times is because George Rodgers has been basically healthy. And Kelvin Bryant comes in on 3rd down. So Keith is used as a relief man in this situation.
Thurman is the extra defensive back for St. Louis. 2nd and 8. Griffin tries it again and moved out to the 20. 5-yard pickup that time.
The first time they ran over R.C. Thielman and Mark May. Now they come back to the left side of the line, where the Redskins really are a more comfortable team running to the left behind Joe Jacoby and Russ Grimm, who's not in there today, but Raleigh McKenzie, who's filled in for him. And in talking to Joe Bugle earlier, he said McKenzie could well be the best pure pass blocker on that whole offensive line.
Ricky Sanders is in the lineup along with Kelvin Bryant. 3rd and 2. 5 minutes left in the first quarter. It's caught by Don Warren for a first down at the 25. That's only the 12th pass of the year that he's caught. Along the sideline, they send in the signals to Jay Schroeder, and Mr. Theismann is conversant with those signals.
I've known him a little bit. I won't tell you what it is, but
do you know?
I know what this one's going to be. And it's the Redskins are a football team that tries to control the ball. On that play, what's going to happen here is Art Monk's going to go in motion to the right, and we're going to try and throw the ball short to Gary Clark or Art Monk.
What do you mean we?
Well, the Redskins. By
there it is to Clark, and a first down across the 35. Joe, do you know them all?
I got lucky, I guess.
I guess you do know them all, huh?
Well, yeah. I've, you know, you don't forget it after 12 years.
11-yard pickup. Now, we don't want to do anything that's going to compromise the position of Joe Gibbs and his football team with Joe Theismann's knowledge here, but he does know the signals. He does know the plays that are coming, and that will help you fans as Joe imparts the information to you from time to time here today.
I think what the fans are seeing is the same type of Redskin football they've seen all year. Controlled passing game with a big shot now and then.
From the 37, Bryant is in there. Another first down out near midfield as Gary Clark caught another.
That was the same pass play they tried to open the game with. They threw it to the left side this time. It's just a play action fake to Keith Griffin in the backfield to hold the linebackers, let Gary Clark run his turn pattern on Carl Carter, who's a rookie, played very well, but still doesn't have the experience, and he makes the catch.
12 yards for convenience. They mark it at the 50-yard line. Tackled by Cedric Mack, who's playing the right corner, and they'll be picking on him. First down. Good stiff defense after a few yards, and Nico Noga, number 57, was the first to hit the ball carrier Bryant. A 4-yard gain. That Noga is something. He is from
Tonga,
American Samoa. The other guys from Tonga, they're neighbors.
Well,
they swim back and forth and visit each other every day.
I haven't been that way lately, so I couldn't tell you exactly where that is. All I know is he goes to movies like The Dirty Dozen, and
he's a mean son of a
He likes to get himself fired up the night before a ball game by watching exciting movies, I guess you could say.
2nd down and 6. 2 tight ends, including Anthony Jones. Motion by Monk, reading the defense. Down the middle for a first down, and Bryant running away from tacklers, 1st and goal. He ran away from a would-be tackler back upfield, and Lonnie Young had to stop him. Cardinals been hurt by that particular pattern all year, 40 yards.
Well, they get hurt. Here you isolate Kelvin Bryant on a linebacker. In this case, it's E.J. Jr.
And he misses the tackle.
Well, he does. He gets overrun, and now Kelvin gets in the middle. Jay does an excellent job of setting in the pocket and throwing off his back foot. Now, you can call it the wrong foot, but with the strength of his arm, he doesn't have a wrong foot to throw off of. And there they force him to try and catch him going down the field.
1st and goal at the 6. More than half of that distance. And he ran into Charlie Baker and E.J. Jr. Boy, that wasn't like Jr. a while ago to miss a tackle of that sort. The stiff arm stopped him.
Well, it really wasn't. As he set back into coverage, he has Kelvin Bryant. He just leaks through the line of scrimmage. You've got the receivers, which, of course, Monk and Clark are going to get a lot of respect, pushing the secondary and stretching the defense. You dump it off to a back underneath with Bryant's ability. He makes one man miss, and you saw the gain that he gets. 45
seconds left in the 1st quarter. Griffin is in. Bryant is out. It's 2nd and goal at the 2. By Warren. That's the sort of call where they miss Clint Didier, who has that broken hand.
Well, not only that, but they really missed that man right there, George Rogers. In that situation, Joe Gibbs would probably try and pound it in on 2nd down, even on 3rd down. Now, talking to him last night, when I played quarterback for the Washington Redskins and had the presence of one John Riggins in the backfield, I think we threw one play-action pass in that situation in 6 years I was there. And he said to me last night, I might throw one up there for you just so you could talk about it today. And he did. Now I think he's going to try and pound it in.
Rogers has a bad shoulder. It's 3rd and goal. Bryant's back in. How did he get so loose? Gary Clark with a touchdown. That is his 6th of the year, and the Redskins on top, and he was wide open.
What happened is the St. Louis Cardinals chose to play a zone defense from the 3-yard line. Now, it's very unusual in the National Football League. You get down close, everybody wants to play man-to-man. The Cardinals rushed 4, dropped 7 back in coverage, and Clark just found the seam. Jay did a fine job, of course, not having a lot of pressure on him, hit him for the touchdown.
Zendejas, who is 11 out of 15, will try the extra point. Makes it good, and it is 7-3 in favor of Washington. They were favored by more than a touchdown here today. 26 seconds left in the quarter.
It began as a new way of thinking about the relationship between the automobile and the road. It evolved into an automotive suspension system like none before. The Mercedes-Benz multi-link independent rear suspension system. 5 individual links per wheel precisely interacting to achieve handling stability as never before. Helping to make the 300 class the most technologically advanced automobiles in Mercedes-Benz history.
Does Miller High Life come in a clear bottle just to stand out from the crowd? Or is there more to it than that? You see, Miller High Life is brewed dark and rich from this special and expensive roasted malt. How dark and rich? Compare Miller to the other leading premium and see the difference for yourself. When you brew a beer with all the quality and care that goes into Miller High Life, you put it in a clear bottle for the world to see. Because that's the American way.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
I'm giving everyone a mini phone from Radio Shack. That way they'll call often. It's trim, compact, and has an automatic redial. And the 16-foot cord means they can use it anywhere around the house. But best of all, it's on sale for only $12.95. I even bought myself one. Hello? Hello? Hello?
The mini phone, on sale for $12.95, only at Radio Shack.
The Big Blue Wrecking Crew of the Giants. The aerial precision of Jay Schroeder and the Redskins. The NFC East leaders collide next Sunday on CBS Sports.
There's Nika Noga, E.J. Jr., and Lonnie Young. Now, what the Cardinals chose to do is drop everybody back into coverage as opposed to trying to put pressure on the quarterback. What's going to happen is Gary Clark's going to come right out of here and get the touchdown. There you see him go into their coverage. Now Clark will appear right in the seam for 6 points.
Easy, easy.
Against zones, it's not hard to find those little holes.
There's Gary, 6 TDs this year. And Schroeder, the quarterback, said he has a way of coming right across your field of vision. Here's the kick by Cox. And it heads for Sikahema. Took it on the 3. Look at that blocking. His own man got in the way, but he broke loose up beyond the 35-yard line. And the tackle by Tim Morrison. Well, next Saturday on CBS television, some good collegiate action. The Army-Navy game in Philadelphia, of course. The 87th annual, and it's always a very good game with a lot of spirit. And right after that, on CBS, the Heisman Trophy Award from the New York Athletic Club at 5:30 Eastern Time, and I wonder who.
You're going to go out on a limb and pick one?
No. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
How'd you finish, Joe? Very high, didn't you, one year?
I was very fortunate to finish second. I guess you could call that being fortunate.
Whom?
To Mr. Jim Plunkett.
And he's still playing. Joe Krakowski of the Redskins was injured on that play and goes off the field. His father played for the Redskins at one time. That was a 35-yard return to the 38-yard line. Schroeder, by the way, and when he's out there, is hot. He's 5 out of 6. Here's Lomax going to work. Sikahema lines up in the tailback spot and goes in motion. I like to throw to him. Lomax is taken down for the 3rd time by Darryl Grant. What a nice visit we had with Grant, who is the quiet leader, apparently, and overlooked by a lot of people. Tell us about that meeting he called with the defense, Joe.
Well, he and Charles Mann are very close, and the defense really missed his leadership. What you mean by leadership is just what you saw on the football field, the example of going out and getting the job done. He's matched up against Ray Brown, who's a rookie, who's going to get an education this afternoon. And he just said, look, we're not playing well. It's time we got together and did our job as a defensive unit.
That marks the end of the first quarter. Cardinals scored first on the field goal by Schubert, and then the 2-yard pass play to Clark, 7-3 Washington.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring except Fievel the mouse.
Presenting Fievel, the adorable star of Steven Spielberg's presentation of the Don Bluth film An American Tail. Now collect all 4 different McDonald's stocking ornaments featuring Fievel. Each one comes free when you buy the perfect stocking stuffer. A $5 book of McDonald's gift certificates.
This holiday season, give a terrific surprise. Free Fievel stockings with our gift certificates inside.
Hello. I guess you know I find you extremely attractive.
Hey, thank you very much. It's time to change your light bulb. Philips Longer Life Square bulbs last 33% longer than ordinary round bulbs.
I own a PC and a VCR, a condo on the beach, and my own company. But I don't own a car. I lease with GMAC. For me, leasing was smarter than buying. It's just good money management. And since I worked out the terms with my GM dealer, I can pay less each month. It was easy. Now I've got the new car I want, and leasing frees up my money for other things.
GMAC Leasing, only at your GM dealer. For you, it just might be smarter than buying.
Start the second quarter, 7-3 Redskins. Darryl Grant just picked up his 2nd sack of the year.
We were talking earlier about the Redskins about 3 weeks ago had a defensive team meeting. every now and then we'd call them as football players with no coaches there, so everybody could air their feelings and say exactly what they want to say. Now, it's basically a very young defense in key situations, in key positions, I mean.
And Grant talked mostly about the lack of enthusiasm or intensity on the part of the defensive unit.
And he felt like not being out on the field hurt his football team a little bit. So now he's glad to be back.
3 wide receivers, 2nd and 16 from the Cardinal 31. 4-man rush, and the running play to Ferry. Got a good kick out block, and he's out across the 40-yard line. Louis Sharp had a key block on that run of 11 yards.
Well, sometimes when you get a big pass rusher right in the middle of your screen, you see Dexter Manley. That's with his tail up in the air. That's a sprinter stance. You see him come up in the field now. Louis Sharp just drives him right into the pile. Bowles comes up to try and force the play. Morrison tries to force it back in where the linebackers are. But the offensive line of the Cardinals did an excellent job of picking up the pass rush that time.
3rd down and 6. Wolfley and Sycamore blocking in the backfield. The flag is down. 1st down run. But it's going to be holding against St. Louis, you can almost bet.
It's also going to be against number 67 on that man, Dexter Manley.
Who is refereeing now.
Louis Sharp tried to take Dexter inside, got his right hand hooked around him, and got 3 points for a takedown, and he's going to get 10 yards for holding. And he knows it.
Holding. Offense. Number 67, 10-yard penalty.
Sometimes it's all you can do.
3rd down.
So it's going to be 3rd down.
In the right of your screen, Dexter Manley tries to take the inside. Now Sharp gets his right hand up, and you'll see it's just purely a takedown. If he pins him, he gets what, 5? The takedown gets him 3. In any case, he winds up losing 10 yards.
3rd down and 16 coming up. Joe Krakowski of the Redskins has a sprained knee and will not return. So there, Manley ready to tee off again against Sharp or whoever. He lined up inside. Now he comes back outside.
Cardinals have 4 wide receivers in the game,
including Don Holmes. What a catch for a 1st down by Troy Johnson. If there's a tough catch to make in the game, it's the one behind you. That was 22 yards.
Again, they isolate on Barry Wilburn. You won't be able to see it in this picture, but you'll see him come in the lower left-hand part of your screen. You'll see Troy Johnson come in. There's the ball up. Now watch him turn back and make this play.
That is very difficult.
Hard to hold on to the ball as it's away from you while you're getting hit. That time he controlled it and made the catch for the 1st down.
On 3rd down.
And this time you see Manley trying to bull rush again over Sharp. This time Louis won it.
1st down at the Redskin 45. And Farrell gets only a couple.
Farrell, the ball carrier. Tackled by Olkowitz.
Dexter Manley talked before the game about playing against Louis Sharp.
Well, I think in my division, he's probably the best in that division. And Louis Sharp is one of the, he's not very strong up top to me is what I perceive. And I think the guy has definitely great feet. And because I can tell you, if you beat him on a good move, the next thing you know, he's be right there. So the thing about it is have to keep coming every down. When you do that, eventually something will break.
Something is already broken here a couple of times today. 2nd and 8. Coffey's in the lineup. Bowles is in there for Washington. Big takeoff by Manley, and there he is. That's the 4th sack of Lomax today, and Manley just wouldn't be stopped. He came in along with Charles Mann, who broke in from the other side.
Well, you got to give credit again, not only to the pressure of the front 4, but anytime Lomax has got to hold the ball, it's the coverage of the secondary that aids in the sacks. There he is in that sprinter stance again. He starts up the field. Now Lomax is going to get flushed to the right by Charles Mann, and Dexter just keeps on, like he said, if you keep on coming, something's got to give.
So both tackles eventually were whipped on the play, Tootie Robbins and Louis Sharp. And it is 3rd down and 19. 4 wide receivers for St. Louis. Racing in was Charles Mann. We caught you, Charlie.
You could hear Neil Lomax go, Hut, hut, hut.
That did it?
Yes, sir. What they want to do is, when you get the defensive ends that are up in sprinter stances.
Encroachment, defense, number 71, third down.
And you realize they're loaded and going to come out of the chutes. What you want to do is break that cadence, give them that hard count, and see if you can draw them offside. Now, instead of 3rd down and 19, you've got 3rd down and 14. Still a tough thing to get, but it's a lot better than trying to pick up 19 yards.
12 minutes left in the half. 7-3 Washington. 3rd and 14. And there's a whistle. Flags down all over. Louis Sharp might have been the first to move, and that'll cost him.
You know, Dexter ought to get a striped shirt. I mean, with a 72 on it.
He's just trying to hip.
Ball start, offense, number 67, third down.
Well, there's no doubt that Manley really changes a game around.
He does, and he changes it for the left tackle. Now, Sharp's got to get out of there. You also see Ray Brown jump up because he's got Darrell Grant. Both of them have at least 1 sack this afternoon. Dexter with 2, Grant with 1. They've got to get back to try and protect.
4 penalties against St. Louis, 2 against the Redskins, 3rd and 19. Monty Coleman swatted that one away, and it's 4th down, and the Cardinals will have to punt the ball for the 2nd time today.
Monty Coleman comes in on 3rd down and long, 2nd down situations, and extremely long. You see him right in the middle of your screen. Now, he has the fullback, Wolfley, man-to-man, but he's blocking, so he's just going to stand there and play cat and mouse with him and swat the ball down for the shorter routes.
2nd punt by Cater. Oh, that's a beauty. Fair catch is called for by Jenkins. He knew the coverage was going to be tough, and it was. 11:24 left in the half. 39-yard punt. Washington at their 16.
Here's my daughter, Kathleen.
She's been gone for 20 years.
My pop, what a surprise.
And now she's moving home.
It's going nicely, don't you think?
The Kavanaughs premieres Monday on CBS.
Out there, 2 celebrations are taking place. I'm Jeff Bostic of the Washington Redskins, and we're celebrating our 50th anniversary. From 1937 to 1986, the legends and eras of greatness, the coaches and players who won 2 world titles and Super Bowl 17. And behind it all was Jack Kent Cooke, whose commitment and love for his teams and his community made it all possible. And that love of community is what also is being celebrated here in Washington and in 2,000 communities across the nation, as 30 million United Way volunteers celebrate the United Way Centennial, 100 years of service to the country. The United Way is founded on the idea that says people care. So join me and the Washington Redskins as we celebrate our 50th anniversary and be a part of the United Way Centennial. See all that we've been and all that we can become together. The United Way, thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller High Life. Miller made the American way since 1855. And by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world.
We're at Busch Stadium, where about 39,000 are watching the game on a foggy and misty day. 11:24 left in the half. 7-3, the Redskins lead. And the Redskins have the ball at their own 16. And Joe Theismann just remarked to me about the difference in this club as opposed to when he was playing, when your team was a lot more patient.
Well, he was. I think with the presence of John Riggins, we were a football team that were more inclined to try and run a little bit more on 1st and 10. I would say we were 60-40 run. What I see in this Redskin football team is that they're willing to run the ball, but within 5 plays, you can almost look for a big play or a big shot, as they're referred to try and get the ball down the field a large amount.
It is Keith Griffin in the backfield and Warren on a wing. Griffin is taken down from behind by David Galloway. While we have a moment, let's go to New York and Brent Musburger.
Well, Jack, the Rams have taken an early lead on the Jets. This was the touchdown pass. It's a beauty. 60-yard pass and run. It is Kevin House. That's the longest touchdown pass of Jim Everett's career with the Rams so far. And then they came back down the field, added a field goal, so they lead the Jets 10-0 back to Jets.
Well, there's another force in the league in Jim Everett.
Now you're going to see Art Monk come down to the middle of the formation and go back up top. Get involved in this route.
2nd and 11. And the ball just bounced right off of Ricky Sanders. Thumped right off him. Quite a throw. There's Jay Schroeder, and they tell me he could have been a pretty good baseball player. He's a catcher. He played center field, third base. 3.5 years in the Toronto Blue Jays organization, all in the minor leagues. And somebody told me, Joe, that they knew he'd be a good pro football player because anybody, and this is true, who rides those buses in baseball's minor leagues learns what it's like to enjoy being on top.
You're right, and he does. Actually, I think he looks a lot better in the helmet than he did in the hat anyway.
3rd down and 11. Wayne Smith and Dennis Thurman checking defensively for St. Louis. They can't get to Schroeder. There's a flag, and there's the pass, and it's incomplete. We'll check the flag. Clark almost made a fantastic catch.
Not only that, Jay has such a strong arm and such a great belief in his ability to throw the football. That was one he might have thought about again, but he wanted to try and squeeze it in.
Motion will be declined, and the Redskins will have to punt. And as you say, Joe, they show a lack of patience with their play calling as opposed to what it used to be.
I think what happens is the lack of George Rogers in the backfield has caused that. They feel more inclined to pound it.
I'm sorry. Number 87, offense. Penalty decline. 4th down.
They feel more inclined to try and pound it with the big back. But when you've got Keith Griffin and Kelvin Bryant, who aren't the big kind of backs who can pound inside, you have to go to the other plan. Now, that plan has worked well enough for them to win 10 football games this year, so why stop?
Steve Cox will punt for the 2nd time to by Sikahema. The Cardinals should get it. In good position. 10.5 left in the half. No pressure. Pretty good kick. Coverage is not so hot from the 39. And good coverage at the tail end. It was Alvin Walton getting down there, number 40, to make the tackle. 47-yard kick.